Hello and welcome to Revolutionize Your Love Life. Do you want to know more about love relationships, what makes them work, how to create the one of your best dreams? Do you want to be in a really healthy, juicy love relationship? In these podcasts, we will give ideas and practical advice to light your way. Whether you're looking for a love partner, already in a relationship you wish could be better, or leaving one that has run its course, there will be something to inspire, empower, and support you. Revolutionize Your Love Life is a fortnightly podcast where you will access the knowledge and wisdom of love experts and relationship coaches from across the world to help you find true fulfillment in love. I am your host, Heather Garbutt. Welcome. Hello everybody. I'm here today with a magnificent woman. She's speaking to us from the city of love in Paris. She's a good friend of mine. She has homes in Barbados and the UK and travels freely across the globe. It's an absolute delight to have her here. She's Monica Douglas, and she's going to talk about the power of ritual to enhance our relationship. Welcome, Monica.
Oh, thank you, Heather. It's wonderful to be here with you.
Lovely. Let me tell you a bit about Monica first. She is a trained and certified spirit-led relationship coach. She's an interfaith minister and founder of the Wild Wisdom of Relationships framework. With over 25 years experience, she supports heart-led individuals and coaches to heal from heartbreak, to reset their relationships and thrive in love. She draws from her own experience of thriving in love after the end of a 27-year relationship. She blends the wild wisdom, conscious uncoupling, and calling in the one coaching programs, oracle cards, retreats, and deep spiritual practices to help her clients deepen intuition, develop insight, and create soulful, authentic connections with their true loves and others. Beautiful. Welcome, welcome, welcome.
Oh, thank you, Heather. It's such a joy to be with you and to be beaming the love from Paris. It's a joy. I'm really looking forward to our conversation today.
Me too. So let's talk first about wild wisdom of relationships.
Yeah.
This is a lovely new development in the last 5 years from you, and I've watched it evolve, and it's magnificent. How did you come across that, and what's your personal story that really shapes that vision?
Yeah. Okay. So the wild wisdom, this emerged for me actually during our period of lockdown. And it feels like there's a synthesis, a synergy of all that I'd learned up until that point. And I had a real download about we need ways to anchor the ups and downs of daily life in everyday ritual, and ways to be comfortable and happy in our body, in our hearts, in our minds, in our soul, and in our wider environment. So that's the energy of the wild wisdom that's been bubbling up over this last 5 years. The informing energy of this being about our relationship with ourselves, with others, and with life itself has come through my own journey. So there was a time when I woke up and I realized that the life that I was living and the relationship that I had with my husband and my family and my work, it was just not in alignment with who I knew myself to be. It was a moment that came after some deep reflection about my life. My body had, I've been through some serious health challenges, and various moments all came together for an awakening. And in the awakening, it was like something has to change. And on the surface, things looked okay. But deep down, I know something's got to change. And I went on a journey of training and discovery. One of the things that I'd been trained as an interfaith minister. I'd run very successful businesses. I'd traveled. I had great friends. Things, as I said, looked great on the surface, but it was like, oh, I'd gone through various iterations of relationship. It's the ups and downs, the seasons and the cycles, and it was like, no, this is actually a completion. You're in a completion phase, and it's really important to embrace this completion phase in order for it to evolve into something new. And there was a lot of soul searching and study and connection that I needed to do. I trained as a relationship coach. I drew on my own spiritual practices in order to get me through what some people would call as a dark night of the soul.
Mm. Mm.
And it meant me reassessing my primary relationship with my husband, which is a long-standing relationship from when I was in my teens. Which was so difficult. And I was like, how do I do this? How do I do this in a way that causes minimal harm to him and to me and our extended families? Because everything was so intertwined. And that's when I found Catherine's work in terms of conscious uncoupling. And I read the book and I thought, I would, oh, I'd really want to find a way of evolving this relationship. And the evolution of the relationship happened. It wasn't seamless or as super fairy tale as I would have liked, but it was effective because in the end, it made me think, how am I showing up? What do I want and need to do to make sure that relationships can evolve into a form where the good stuff isn't lost? Because this was really important for me. I'd grown up with this man,
Mm.
and through using the tools and the techniques that I had learned, and through courageous conversations, and through considering the community around me and the people most affected by my shift, we were able to move through it and navigate it to a place where we can now be in relationship. I just had my 50th birthday, and I was able to invite my former husband to be there and be there with my family, all of whom love and respect him, and he's played a part. So it was like, wasn't easy, but it was useful
Mm.
to have gone through that journey. So that was happening. And what I was thinking, what has carried me through? What has carried me through? It's been actually the everyday rituals that I've been doing for my body, for my heart, for my mind, for my soul, for my environment, to enable me to evolve and to shift into relationship in a different way.
Mm.
And that's why the wild wisdom of relationships has come into being, a sort of joining of ritual, of relationship, and a creation of something that I think pulls together lots of different traditions, very much a synergistic approach.
Mm. That's lovely. That's really lovely. I just want to ask you a bit. Can you say what your life is like now? Because
Hmm.
I know, but maybe everybody else doesn't.
So I'm doing all right, Heather. I feel like I am in a season of potential and bright energy. I've gone through my health challenges. I've done what I've needed to do in order to restore the wholeness of my body. So I'm feeling strong. I'm feeling vibrant. I feel like this new season is going to be incredible physically. In terms of relationships, I went through a period of delightful dating, where after really feeling like I'd completed my former relationship, I decided to allow myself to open up to love again. And in that journey, I've met my beloved, who is one of the reasons why I'm in Paris right now. And we're building a relationship which honors the truth of who both of us are now. And we've come very much into a relationship with that consciousness and that awareness. And it's beautiful. I feel very blossoming in the heart. I have also set in train shifts in my relationships with my family and my friends and my wider community and clients so that they are now in alignment with who I am. And that has meant the closure of some relationships. It's also meant the evolution of some relationships that I'd been neglecting into closer, even more beautiful relationships than I had before. And in my mind, there's a real clarity about what I'm here for. I'm here to support myself and others to develop more loving, aligned, conscious relationships in the world.
Mm.
Yeah.
Mm.
And essentially at the level of soul and spirit, it's about listening very much. I'm listening for deep guidance, real clarity, developing a sense of being supported, guided, and present to what's needed in this moment.
That's really beautiful. As you're speaking, I'm getting images of gardens. You've cleared the ground. You've kept the pieces that you really wanted, the plants that really float your boat, and you've nurtured them. You've given them the good stuff, and
Mm.
you've pulled out the weeds, given them a chance if they looked like they could be nice, but actually got rid of what really does not fit, and planted a whole new ground, whole new garden. And here we are in the rose season, and I just got a picture of a big rose garden with blousy pink and red flowers. Just
Yeah,
lovely.
we can have those and very fragrant, beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. I'm with you.
Mm, lovely.
Yeah.
So tell us how the wild wisdom fits into all of this, because that's a really important thing, I think.
Yeah. So, in your introduction, we talked about the importance of ritual for relationships. So the wild wisdom essentially is a methodology actually for acknowledging, and it's great that you use the metaphor of the garden, acknowledging the wildness of us, the the physical, messy, vibrant, wanting to express itself sides of us, the material really, and the wisdom, the essence of life and spirit, and bringing those two together. And what the wild wisdom does is provide a space to explore that, to explore the wild wisdom of you and me and the world around us. And as I was saying, it came through to me during the time of lockdown because actually I had the space and the time to sit and to hear and to explore and to observe what was going on around. And I I got a very clear picture that whatever approach I was taking needed to be a holistic, integrated, synergistic approach that pulled together body, heart, mind, soul, and environment. And that was informed actually by the reach approach, which is a system and a support to me and has been for the last uh, 20, 27 years, 20, no, 25 years, 25 years. It's been a support to me in that this is all about bringing synergy into the world. It's about saying nobody by themselves can resolve this. We're part of the solution, but we aren't the solution. So it's like, how do we look at all the aspects of who we are and recognize that all of us matters. We can't just work in the mind. So, I know many of us have got a background in therapy and psychotherapy and how we work at this from a mind level. But if we ignore the fact that the body's not sleeping enough, if we ignore the fact that actually relationships are off, if we ignore the fact that we've not got a sense of meaning and purpose, then whatever we do at the level of the mind can't embed in our life.
No, there's no integration, and we're
Exactly.
sort of floating heads on a pair of legs.
Yeah. And we've all experienced what that's like, right?
Yeah, disembodied, unfocused.
Yeah,
Yes.
exactly.
Mm.
It's very hard to apply when it's all about this is what I know. It's only when we apply, we take action, and we bring it into the physical that we can actually get the growth that we want.
Yes, and I remember very clearly when we did the retreat together for all of the European and beyond coaches,
Mm,
that it was absolutely lovely that you brought music and dance in a way that I've never experienced before, which
mm,
was really joyful and grounding and opening up. You
mhm.
have that, you really have that as a great strength, really, to be able to bring things alive.
Yeah, thank you, Heather. I appreciate that.
Mm. So tell us more about the cards and how
Okay.
they play a role in supporting people's healing and growth.
Yeah, sure. So, I mean, I'll show you. I've got them here. So we have these Wild Wisdom Oracle cards, and there are four houses within it. The body, wild body wisdom, wild heart wisdom, wild mind wisdom, wild soul wisdom. And there's a piece underneath it, which is about our environment and fits very much with the relationships that we have. Um, One of the ways of using these, we have a healing circle. And in the healing circle, we use these as anchors, as reminders for us to take action, to do a simple ritual, a simple 5-minute meditation, and then to actually go out in the world and take action from what we've received. And it's incredibly simple. And people be like, does that really make a difference? And the evidence is over the years that we've been working with that the fact that we've got an anchor, say this one, we are peace. I don't know if you can see that, Heather. I can't see me on the screen.
Yes, just about, just about.
Okay, right. So we are peace. So there's a 5-minute meditation. Like at the level of soul, could it be true that we, me, you, all of us, at our essence could be peace? Is it possible? So the meditation is about exploring that, thinking of all the people that have ever looked at that card, all the people who are looking at it with us right now or energetically receiving it, and anybody who looks at it in the future. So it brings us automatically into a sense of connection and community. There's an epidemic of loneliness. But what this practice is about connecting us with others that we can actually experience that connection. I can experience that connection with you right now.
Mm,
And I'm experiencing a connection with those listeners that are going to, or watchers on YouTube who are going to be with us. And in this moment, we're together, we're connected. We needn't feel lonely, and we could be peace together. So we do this, and then we get a sense of, okay, if we are peace, what does being peaceful mean to me? What am I being called to do in the world that reflects this peacefulness in me? And what could I do today?
mm,
Could I do it? So it's a really simple, but it calls us into connection, and then it calls us into action. And the change happens.
It's really interesting. The imagery that you're creating of connection for me. I'm seeing that you and I are connected through this screen, but it's like we're together. And because our hearts are together, our spirits are together.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel that sort of radiance that can really touch other people. And I hope anybody listening is feeling this right now. Speaking personally, I'm really feeling for you if you are one of those people that feels really lonely.
Yeah.
Yeah. And together we want to share our peace. I felt really peaceful as you were talking, and I feel peaceful now. And that we're creating a sort of crucible of peace here, just talking about it and allowing it to be between us and around us and radiating out into the world. It feels really lovely. It feels really lovely.
Yeah. And that it can be as simple as that, because our world as it's set up right now, Heather, is about distracting us from being connected to one another. And personally, I know for myself, I need reminders. And that's one of the ways. The wild wisdom is one of the ways. There are many ways in which people get reminders to be connected. As I say, we are part of the solution, not the solution. And for those that the wild wisdom speaks to, it's a real call to expressing real deep care for ourselves by giving ourselves 5 minutes to also express deep care for our loved ones, those that are closest to us, but also for those in the world around us. Like a sense of connectedness, a sense of possibility that we could actually do something. There's a lot of really hard aspects of the world that we live in right now. There's war, there's upset, there's pain. And I think, one of the things, I'm an interfaith minister, and what that means is that I hold spaces for people of any faith or none to connect to themselves and to the spirit or God of their understanding. And for people who are established and in their own tradition, they have ways of managing the ups and downs of life. But for those that don't, or maybe they don't fit totally within the mores of the tradition they've been brought up with, it can be really challenging to find pathways that feel aligned and authentic to cope with the ups and downs of life, with the changes in our relationships, the seasons of our relationships. So what I'm really passionate about is providing a space for people to find ways that suit them, that work for them, that enable them to be the best they can be in the world with their gifts, their talents, their uniqueness.
It's beautiful. It's really beautiful. So it's really fulfillment, living in alignment with your purpose, diving deep, I think, to really discover your purpose.
Yeah.
And giving the gifts that you came here to give.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I think so many of us, and myself included, comes and goes, lose the sense of what my purpose is. And yet I'm still putting one foot in front of the other and living it. And then I come back to saying, oh, this is my path then. Yeah.
Yeah. And I believe that we grow, and our concept of what we're here for can shift as we grow, because we don't know what we don't know, Heather. And our ability to see our gifts and to have the courage to act on those gifts shifts and change as we evolve, as our relationships change. That's one of the things that I think is really important, is to see the seasons of relationship. It's like there's a time of potential, isn't there? And you could use the seasons. There's that springtime energy. There's potential there. There's soft shoots. It's all exciting. You don't really know what's going to happen. It moves into the summer and things blossom and you see them. And then there's a kind of, oh, they've just gone over to seed. Something has shifted. We need to decide, are we going to plant again? Are we going to uproot these, put them in the compost?
Mm-hmm.
And then it shifts into the winter phase. And the winter phase, it's like we're clearing the ground. We have to decide. We're planting seeds for something, but you can't see what's going to happen until the spring starts again. And if we really thought about our relationships in that way, we might have more compassion for ourselves and others when the season ends.
Mm. Yeah. When the tough times are there and you think, God, what's in this for me? What's in this for us? What are we creating?
Yeah, what is this
What's right?
now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
So and also more vigilance when the new seeds start to sprout. It's like, actually, is that something that I need to keep growing, or is it a weed that needs to be
Pulled
like
out.
lovingly let go of?
Mm.
Right.
Yes.
Um, and I feel like cyclical living, putting rituals in place so that we're noticing what's happening, can really facilitate our, yeah, our navigating of life.
Mm. Lovely. Lovely.
Yeah.
Oh, so how did instinct and intuition show up in your work with your clients? How can somebody really strengthen theirs?
Okay. So this for me is also about practice. So one of the things that I think's really powerful is for us to understand our capacity. So with our capacity to be, for me, for instinct, to be in our bodies, to know what feels good, what doesn't, to recognize that sometimes our um, our instinctual response is coming from fear and not actually from connectedness, because sometimes our away from isn't a true away from what's here. Actually, it's our fear driving us to move away. And it's only with deep practice and then the integration of actually heart and mind and body, not just I'm going to go with my gut feeling, but actually how about I listen for guidance? How about I seek guidance on the things that I don't know? How about I give myself a moment to think as well? How
Mm.
about how about I listen for what is in alignment with my soul purpose, my meaning?
Mm. Yes, your values.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But we need to give ourselves time to do that and practice our capacity and recognize this is why it's good to work with a coach or with a community, is it's honing our skill set and giving us an opportunity to mm, be aware of what our instinctual approach is, to develop our capacity for intuition and inspiration and insight.
Yeah. I also think there's something really important about having a loving presence, because I don't think we can fundamentally change without it. We might change our minds,
Yeah.
but we won't change our heart and souls.
Mm,
If we're not safe enough to really express,
yeah.
journaling, for instance, is really a very powerful tool.
Yeah.
It can bring awareness, but it can't necessarily help you make a shift without
No.
the support of a community or a coach around you that gives you that sort of, I don't know, wind under your wings, or holding your hand, however you want to call it.
Yeah. I think your call to safety is is really important, Heather, because this work requires us to have courage. It requires us to feel safe enough. It's not that we'll be absolutely safe, because there's a risk. I think you have it, don't you? I think that Nace Nunn quote about having the courage to bloom. And for that to be more compelling than our instinctual response to retract.
Yeah. Yeah.
And being in safe spaces. So one of the powers of ritual and ceremony is that it creates an environment. It creates an environment in which you have the context, the structure to foster the courage to take action. So what is a wedding about? Right? A wedding is, I love this person. Oh my gosh. I'm gonna choose publicly to do this public ceremony, which is laden with rituals, to let people know I love this person and I'm willing to take this next step to expand into a deeper, loving relationship with them. What on the converse end of this, in terms of a conscious uncoupling ceremony, for example? So this is the courage to go, oh, this relationship has ended. And we want to honor that which was good about what's been created as a result of this. And we're going to do specific rituals to close the energy between us, to end it well, so that we can both move forward with the gifts and release that which needs to be let go of lovingly.
Yeah, that's very beautiful. That's very graceful. So if we think about it in sequence, is there a simple ritual or practice of some kind that you could recommend to somebody who's in a stuck place in a relationship cycle, to give them more insight and grounding and wisdom?
Sure. So at its most simple, the most simple ritual you can do for yourself is to take time to listen to you, whether that's through taking a walk, whether that's through journaling, whether that's through meditation, whether that's through initiating some form of coaching or something that enables you to make a clear commitment to you that you want to create a shift. But it has to be a clear and consistent message. Whatever it is, I'm going to do this for this period of time so that I'm letting myself know that I'm important and I want to shift this relationship. I'm stuck. So let me commit to myself. Okay. So I'm not recommending a thing per se. This is one of the reasons why I did the Wild Wisdom Oracle cards, is because it's one way, but everybody will have their own way of doing it. But the core thing is to make a commitment to yourself that there's this thing that I'm going to do, which is saying to me that I love me and I want to use this time in order to shift whatever is stuck in me.
Yes, I get that. So that's the real prioritizing of yourself,
Yeah,
just for a little while,
yeah,
to really be that kind, loving presence to yourself that is asking you what you're feeling, what you're needing, What is deeper wisdom inside you? What you could invite from outside? Any number of things.
Exactly. But the first step is that.
Yeah.
It's like coming home to you. So a lot of the time in our work as relationship coach, there's a fracture outside of ourselves that is disturbing us or that we perceive as the disturbance. So if we come back to ourself, it's like, how am I in that? So there's the inner sanctuary practice, like you just described in words, of like listening. What am I feeling? Um, what am I needing, right? It's like, and then actually asking yourself the questions as though you're speaking to a part of you that you can see. So, what are you seeing? What are you feeling? What are you needing? And that this can be enough sometimes for us to start to listen. We've often got a craving, Heather, for others to listen to us without recognizing that we're not listening to ourselves anyway.
Mhm. Yeah. And for others to tell us when they don't
Yeah,
really know the truth of our heart.
no.
Mm.
Someone can hold us still enough for us to listen, but essentially it's our own job to listen.
Yeah, it's beautiful. So let's talk about people who might be moving through breakup or some sort of
Mhm,
transition. Let's talk about the misconceptions that people have about breakup and divorce,
mhm.
how you heal from that.
Yeah, I think again, it's like recognizing that this is an inside job. It's not a job that anybody else is doing for us. And that this isn't linear, and grief is real, and it's cathartic, and it's helpful. So we don't have to run away from grief. And however that shows up in our lives, when something ends, when there's a yeah, when something ends, when a relationship ends, it's likely there will be a grieving process in order for us to process it and to manage it within our system. And I think some of the misconceptions are, one, that it's easy, two, that time will heal it, um, that it's in the hands of somebody else, and that it's a bad thing.
Mm.
And one of the things that I know for sure is that relationships, I mean, I like it, whether it's true or not, actually, is the season, reason, purpose of a
Mm.
relationship, right? So there's we've been bought into a happily ever after myth in romantic relationships, but also in friendships, right? It's like once you're a friend for life. It can be absolutely devastating even more devastating than a romantic relationship when a friend ghosts or leaves us. I wrote
Mm.
about this recently because people underestimate the power of friendship relationships and how integral they are to our sense of self, part
Mm.
of our community, um, and are often surprised by the depth of grief that they go through when a friendship ends.
Mm.
Um, but it's because we've given our hearts,
Mm.
and it's painful when those connections are no longer there.
Mm. Yes, yes.
So, with those misconceptions, I think the thing for us to consider is, let us make time to see, where are the wounds, where are the emotions sitting in us? How can we honor them? How can we learn from this break? How can we make this ending into an opportunity for us to open our hearts wider. We talk about the wounding to our hearts being the space where the heart can crack open, and then our capacity to love expands.
Mm.
So, how about it could be that? How about this ending could be the gateway to an expansion in our capacity to love ourselves and others and the world around us?
Mm. Sounds wonderful. Yes, I like that. And to be honest as well, we're both conscious uncoupling coaches, and I do see that by the time people get to the end, they're going to have a relationship with the next person who comes into their life that's entirely different,
Mm,
because they're generally, they've healed some of those wounds. They've realized where they were living from them that was replicating old patterns from childhood
mm,
in their relationship. So holding back on resentments, not communicating, not rocking the boat, as we were chatting about before,
mm.
letting things just be the same. And if you don't really connect with each other and risk anything, then you just replicate old patterns and you get that isolation and loneliness.
Yeah,
But by the time they get to the end, they're really much more confident about being with themselves in the way that you're describing, and can choose then the next partner from knowing who they are and what their feelings and needs are, what their aspirations are, what their ambitions are, for relationship,
yeah,
what their purpose is, and who is complementary to that, and who would be a cross current.
exactly.
It's beautiful to see.
Yeah. And it's a wonderful thing to see somebody move through that and to claim their own capacity to make good decisions, to be confident and comfortable to be on their own actually
Mm,
sometimes, just
mm,
to be like, oh, actually, I'm all right. I don't need to rush into a relationship. I'm not missing something. I'm wanting to allow myself to be, and then to welcome in. This is the other part of our work, isn't it? To be in a state of receptivity and openness to the relationship or relationships that enable me to thrive, that enable me to be myself, that I start from a place of this is who I am, and I don't diminish aspects of me in order to make somebody else feel more comfortable. I allow myself to be who I am in relationship in a way that enables someone to let them know whether they're for me or not, and enables me to know whether I'm for them or not.
yeah, yes, yes, that's very beautifully put.
Mm,
So I think you've got a quiz, haven't you? Yeah, are you ready
yeah,
to date quiz? Which
I
is
do.
it's for when people are in that pregnant pause. They
Yeah,
may have come out of a former relationship. They really called in themselves, and they are wondering, "Am I really ready to call in another love?" So
yeah,
think about
absolutely.
it.
It's so nice to be able to just do a very simple quiz, and then it pulls out, okay, mm, maybe there's a little bit I need to do. Maybe there's a little bit of work I need to do before I actually start putting myself out there. Maybe I am ready, but there's part of me this is my delightful dating piece, right? That I haven't dated in 20 years, right? What do I do? The landscape has changed. I don't really want to go on online dating, or maybe I could, but I don't know how to, right? This kind of like quandary of what to do, and people take the quiz and then they make a decision and about what they would want to do next. Um, and it may be that, I have a masterclass. They come. Um, it's like magnetic dating, but you do you do the work on a profile, whether you choose to put it out there or not, at some level, you've done the work and you've seen, okay, actually, there's part of me that's worried about this. And you lay the worries to rest and it frees you up. And you may never go on online dating, but somehow you're just allowing your unique fragrance to be out in the world in a different way. And you're more likely to bump into your beloved and for them to recognize you because you're allowing yourself to be open.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. You find your own way, but it's going through that little
Yeah.
process that really helps you define, really helps you open up to. I get that. That's beautiful. And it's a lovely thing that you do. It's quite a gift in the dating world, I think.
Yeah. Well, it comes back to this ritual. So it's a ritual. You've done a ritual to to make yourself ready, right? You've done a ritual to make yourself ready, and you can then set up a little space that reminds you that you're ready and that
So,
you've created your little space, a little altar perhaps, with the things that you're looking forward to when
yeah,
your beloved comes in.
yeah,
And it's, and you just start to feel better about your space. And at some level, mm, materially, it might look like nothing's changed, but everything's changed.
yes,
Suddenly, the space is open and you're living in a way where you're ready.
yeah. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. My friend who is doing calling in the one at the moment, she just has two little quartz hearts beside her bed that she sort of kisses goodnight every night, and it just
Oh,
holds her and centers her in that wish, in that intention.
there you go. So, a very practical ritual, hey? I've got two quartz hearts representing me and my beloved. And every night I'm just going to say, oh, mwah, mwah, have a good night, like it would be, like it will be when your beloved is next to you.
Absolutely.
How lovely. I like that.
So, so sweet. So let's think about the sort of lumpy bits, really. How
Go
can
on.
people avoid repeating the same pattern they've just had in unhealthy relationships if they needed to get out?
Yeah. So the first place is awareness of it, right? Unless you spent the time to look and to investigate what is going on here, what went on there, you don't really have much hope of avoiding it if you've not looked at it, right? Just gonna
Absolutely.
hijack you and take you down the same road. So this is one of the beauties of doing that coaching work because you look for the patterns and then you look for how you might be still showing up in the same way so that you can catch yourself because relapse is part of the process, right? We even when we've got awareness of something,
Yeah.
uh we're going to live through life and we'll be in a little groove until we're not in the groove anymore because the new behavior doesn't have a groove yet.
Yeah.
So we slip into the old behavior, but we catch ourselves. This is one of the other beauties of having regular rituals, whether that's your meditation, whether that's your journaling, whether that's your wild wisdom practice, whatever it is, because it wakes you back up when you've fallen asleep and you can be compassionate with yourself. Oh, here we are again. and and you can catch yourself. You can catch yourself if you've gone into dating. Ah, actually, somebody because I think God, the universe, spirit has a sense of humor, right? It will bring bring you exactly what you're trying to avoid to see if you are in the place of taking action differently to how you were taking action before. Intention doesn't mean anything. It's about, are you willing to take the appropriate action? So if somebody shows up and they have the same characteristics as your past partner and you catch yourself acting in the same way, the beauty of this work and of the rituals that you have in place is to wake you up and go, oh, no, that's not what I'm doing anymore. Thank you very much for coming into my life to remind me that that's not what I am doing. I'm doing something different.
This is beautiful, because so much, I think, of what goes wrong in relationships and relationship with self is that largely, big broad brush stroke here, we Brits are brought up in a state of emotional neglect. So we
Yeah.
learn to internalize absence as connection. This big broad brush. So these rituals can keep that connection of presence. I'm present to myself because I'm kissing these two little hearts.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So this call to presence is at the heart of ritual. Wake up, take notice, be present, be here, be in connection with the truth of who you are. Be here, wake up.
Mm. Come back.
Yeah, come back, come back, come back. And the more we practice, the more skillful we become, because our intentions don't make a difference. It's only when we take action.
Yeah, beautiful,
Mm.
beautiful. So tell me more. Let's think about relationship cycles, conscious love, the wild wisdom relationship cycle quiz. Tell me more about that, because that feels like that naturally follows on.
Yeah, so this comes back to this uh, cyclical awareness of relationships. So it's remembering, it's like, what phase are you in this relationship? And can you honor the phase? And can you recognize what it is? And can you take appropriate action? And it's again very simple, but it's about giving some structure and some form to what you may need to focus on right now to move this relationship back through the cycle. So it could be an existing. So I know one of the reasons why my former marriage lasted so long is because we went through the cycles and that we renewed our vows and that we evolved our relationships until it was done
Mm.
for us. So I know it works. It works for us to recognize the cycles of relationship and of the evolving nature of matter and spirit, right? It's like they come together, we move through, and when we honor the cyclical nature of relationships, we don't grasp to the previous part of the cycle because that's not healthy. You can't go back to spring once you're in summer. You have to go through autumn and winter and then come back to spring.
Yes, that's beautifully put. Beautifully put. Yeah.
Mm.
So, and how does the quiz work with this?
So you just click on it, you answer the questions, it takes you through, it gives you like, oh, okay, this is where we are right now.
Right. So it gives you the insights.
Yeah,
And then you know what to do and what you're dealing with, really, sort of thing. Yeah.
exactly. It's like, where am I? Okay, maybe we do need to do some, maybe we do need to do some pruning here,
Mm.
right?
Yeah, yeah.
What isn't working? What is working? What isn't working? One of the things that I'm very passionate about is about affirmative approaches. So you look at what's working. You don't throw the baby out with the bathwater. So that even if a relationship is to end, there will be a reason why you came together. There will be some learning and something good about it, even if it's like, I'm not doing that again. Right?
Mhm, mhm, mhm,
Okay.
mhm.
Um, so the point is to give you the opportunity to recognize where you're at. And at the beginning, in the springtime of a relationship, when everything is rosy and it's growing and there's potential, it's like, can you really have the courage to bring your values and your desires to the front so that the person is at choice about whether this is true for them too.
Mm.
And you encourage them to bring their truth to you. And even if you're there and it's like, oh, that doesn't match, at least you do it there and you honor that
Yeah.
energy so that it can move forward or not.
Yes. So you can choose if you can negotiate and find a win-win that works for you
Yeah.
both, or if actually it's so intractable that now's the time to stop.
Yeah. And
Mm.
that's okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it may be that you have the conversation and you find out, oh no, there's a kernel of beauty here. There's something. We're here to co-create. Let's do it. And if you've not had the courage to present it, then it would have not been nurtured and not had the opportunity to flourish.
Yes. You've got a flower bed full of drooping flowers.
No, we don't. Nobody wants that.
No, nobody does. So what's one insight, a ritual or a card message of some sort that you'd
Okay.
love to leave with people watching or listening today?
Yeah. So let me practice what I teach. Let me share a wild wisdom card with you. So I'm going to give you the opportunity as a listener to choose one, two, or three.
2.
Okay. Oh, amazing. Okay, so two. If you've chosen two, we're going to give Heather hers first. It's Wild Body Wisdom, I Am Wise.
Mm.
So this is an invitation to connect with the wisdom of your body, to hone your instinct, to allow yourself to tap into the wisdom of your body and to use that uh, as a way forward.
It's a guidance.
Yeah, as a guide, it's like the image I have is almost like you've put your stake in the ground. Mm,
Mm-hmm.
beautiful. And if you
Mm-hmm.
chose one, we've got Wild Mind Wisdom. I choose contentment.
Mm.
And if you've chosen three, it's Wild Mind Wisdom. I choose trust. And if you are watching this podcast and you are interested in the specific meditation that goes with either of those three, just reach out and I will send it to you as a gift.
Oh, that's lovely. Thank you. So I can see that you have a lovely, neat link, which we'll put in the show notes of how people can connect with you through socials or the website that you have,
Yep.
which is linktr
The,
dot
the link's tree.
yeah, Linktree, but it's got a dot after the R
Yeah.
/ Monica Douglas.
Yeah.
So the 2 quizzes we talked about, just to make sure, for
Yep.
those in relationship, the Wild Wisdom Cycle quiz. And for those of you who are single, are you ready to date? Thank you so much, Monica. It's been an absolute joy as ever, and I'm looking forward to our collaboration later in the year,
Yeah.
2025. So we're going to work together in September, which will be lovely.
Yeah, I look forward to working with you in September too, Heather. Wonderful. It'll be great to share with you.
Oh, thank you for being with us today.
You're welcome. Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much for listening to this episode of Revolutionize Your Love Life. I'd like to know what has been your biggest takeaway from this conversation. Do take a minute and share this with us and visit us on our Facebook page. You can connect with me personally on my email at heather@heathergarbutt.com. If you can think of someone who will benefit from listening to this podcast, please do share it with them. If you have any feedback on how I can improve it, please do reach out to me, as I'm always keen to learn more. Thank you so much again for listening, and we'll meet again on the next episode of Revolutionize Your Love Life.